Hello everyone, and welcome to Short Rest for our Kids on Bikes one-shot, the Lunar Café. That was great, you guys!
Yeah.
You survived!
It was a lot of fun.
We did! We're live!
You were on that coffee thing right away.
Oh, so good. So good.
I wanted to hide it in, because I wasn't sure if it was going to be like, just the setting, so it's gonna, like, it wasn't going to be picked up right away. Because I was like, you guys are in a coffee shop, of course there's coffee everywhere.
Yeah. Your description at the very beginning, like, of the town, like, I was like, coffee shop is significant. That's significant. Yeah.
There were definitely a lot of arrows pointing.
I don't know why my brain made that connection, but as soon as you described the nostrils on the thing, my brain immediately was like, oh, but coffee is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, if this thing has a strong sense of smell, coffee might mess it up. It might keep it from. I was actually thinking that it was going to keep it from realizing we were there because it was going to.
That was my thought
too.
That
Yeah,
was my thought.
there's like an old adage, like an old detective adage that like burning coffee grounds is the only thing that'll get rid of the smell of a dead body. That's how I remembered it from some noir stories and books and stuff. But that's what I was thinking too, is that it would mask our smell. We'll burn some coffee or cover ourselves in coffee grounds.
We just we're covered in coffee grounds like camo.
I love that everyone, obviously, because all of us have not played a game before with each other, and it was so much fun to see that even with sort of different avenues, everyone really kind of meshed. Everyone found their click immediately. You know, we had two metalheads. We had everyone kind of enjoying Tal's desserts, and it's just like, there's no problem. And everyone really ganging up on Mr. Brown. I was like, I was really like, man, I feel bad for this old dude.
I tried not to like gang up on him. I was just talking music.
Well, you're
I
doing
really would have
yoga.
aligned their chakras.
Yeah.
If there had been one more second after the like being suspended and the bones cracking, if there was a momentary pause, Sonny was just gonna look at you, Wilder, and say, "Glad we did yoga."
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Oh my god.
I thought too, actually. It's like, oh man, I'm glad we stretched before all this happened.
Yeah, I was like, that may have probably not as awful, I guess.
Always stretch before combat, I guess.
That's right.
Always.
Yoga before combat is very important.
What did everyone? This is a curiosity because I had a few ideas, like maybe how I could throw you guys off before the game even started. Obviously, I gave you guys sort of like a rough idea of where you'd be playing at, and sort of just saying there was a mystery afoot. Was there any expectations going into the game?
I don't know that I had specific expectations, but I did not expect aliens.
Yeah, that.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I didn't have like a specific thing that I would be like, yeah, that's what it's probably going to be. But aliens was not on my checklist.
Mentally, I entirely discarded the fact that there would be a mystery, and I was totally prepared just to play like 3 hours and working at
Have the
it.
night
I
shift.
was like, all right.
Universe.
And then when it took that twist, I was like, oh, yeah, of course. Something's got to happen.
Mike, did you personally do the tapping on the roof like purposely? From what I told you, or no?
Where like the creature was on the roof,
Yeah.
walking around. Why was there a connection that you gave me to that?
Well, yeah, because I said in reservations the mythos. No, I won't say mythos, but the lore is that like you don't open your door if you hear tapping on the roof or like around the threshold because a skinwalker will get you. So I remember telling you that,
Oh, okay.
and I
Yeah,
was
we had
like,
the
did
skinwalker
he
to
just
discussion.
add the?
No. So obviously,
I straight up thought that that's what those were, by the way.
Well,
was
that's
terrified.
why I was just like, I'm like, to be fair, if something is tapping on my roof, I'm not gonna open the door anyway. But I mean, specifically lore to reservation and like that kind of tradition of like, nope, we don't know.
actually, before we get into sort of the discussion about the choice of the monster, having Sunny run out
Yeah,
towards the creature, I was so nervous for you.
your
I was-
face.
Yeah, same.
If it landed,
I
a
was
hit on
happy
you,
to take whatever happened.
It would have been a serious injury, and you would have been out.
hell
for-
yeah.
Yeah, it would have been bad.
Playing into the trope, man.
Yes, and.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, there's a light that needs to be turned off. Someone's got to turn it off.
And
We need
everyone came to your aid with hot milk and a rolling pin. No,
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you put me in a coffee shop with all of this stuff. I'm throwing hot milk. I'm throwing whatever we have in here.
It did feel very lived in, right? It felt like we very inhabited the space.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I wanted, and sort of, I wanted to mess with expectations, and sort of this was the idea that I didn't know. I didn't want you guys to figure out what you were doing. The whole idea of the Lunar Cafe is obviously alluded to the stars and the moon and sort of outer space. And I was like, well, is that too heavy-handed? Because I wanted to make the
Really not.
saucer underneath the coffee
Even
cup
make
to
that
look like a
connection.
flying saucer, and I was like, no.
None of us thought aliens, I don't think.
And then I was like, well, maybe they might think that the Lunar Cafe refers to a werewolf, and that could be
Yeah.
a danger.
That actually was on my list. That was potentially on my list.
And
Uh,
then, to Amber's point, also, I was like, I know I can pull from like Native American mythology, where I'm like a skinwalker, other sort of like, I think there is like a mimic thing that there's sort of believed. And I was like, there's a lot of things I can pull here.
At first I was like, is it a Thunderbird? Because I've heard the myth of the Thunderbird as
Thunderbird,
yeah,
And I'm-
Thunderbird would be cool.
the strength of its wings can change the weather.
Yeah.
And there's a thought I had with that too. I was like, it would be so like, imagine real life, you were standing outside and it's sunny, and if we were to experience a flap of a wing that was so heavy that it actually changed the weather, you would have to grab onto the ground or get flung up into the sky, and then immediately the sky turns from bright to stormy in an instant.
Yeah.
It would be scary
Well,
as hell.
The barometric pressure drop would also likely trigger a severe headache, like
Yeah.
almost without a doubt.
I'm just
If it were
I
imagining.
that
think odds are you're probably
Was it
dead
boss
if it's that
nonsense?
hard. Not gonna lie.
Probably.
I'm just imagining some Wizard of Oz nonsense where the Lunar Cafe just spirals off.
Oh, the building is intact and flying in the wind.
Yeah.
You just see things flying around with you.
You're just like,
That
what
could have been
happened?
Avenue. That'd be great.
Flying saucer.
Gonna have to watch out for those stale fry
Meat
breads
frisbee.
flying in the air. Deck you
Oh
under.
yeah.
Oh.
The hazard.
By the way, fry bread is amazing.
Yes.
It really is. Yeah.
It's so
Good.
good.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite.
We did relish throwing a stale one though. That was fun.
Anytime you can weaponize a pastry, I think it's a win.
There was definitely a visual that I wanted to throw at you guys, and that was sort of the inclusion of cars racing the opposite direction, like they were running from these saucers, and then cops going that direction. It's like, wait, why weren't they chasing the people racing?
Yeah.
So the way my brain put it together, I thought that the group that was speeding was doing some Too Fast, Too Furious nonsense, and I really wanted to make like a Vin Diesel joke. And then the cops came, and I was like, okay, so the cops are gonna get them, right? And then everything went sideways, and I was like, oh, that wasn't it at all. I'm completely
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. Excellent subversion of expectations, like throughout.
100%.
Very,
Yeah.
really good. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
And then obviously finding sort of like, and obviously I'm not going to use the image or anything like that because it's someone else's art, but definitely finding sort of this, inspiration of this like leather bound creature. And if anyone's ever played the old school, I think it's Xbox 360 or maybe original Xbox of
Prey.
the original Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
100% inspiration that I had
love
to
that
grab
game.
from.
Oh, that was they got. I think it was Coast to Coast. Art Bell actually was before he passed. They got him to come and record a radio broadcast that's playing like throughout the ship as your character is like moving around. Yeah, love that game. That game, super solid game.
Yeah. Definitely had some nostalgia for that, and I was like, yeah, this will be, it's, not a lot of people know it, or at least it's faded a little bit into the background of obscurity, so it's like great to pull this back out.
Yeah.
But I loved everyone's sort of characters. I love the fact that we were just going a little chaotic in the beginning. It's like, yeah, sure, let's do some yoga, let's listen to some music, let's insult this guy's where he's buying his pastries. It was all fun at the moment.
I liked that none of us were like I'm the good worker.
Yes, 100%.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it made it much easier for everybody to vibe.
The fact that Sonny was probably the most responsible.
Yeah.
Point. I mean, Hotel seemed pretty responsible too. Just
We all
pushing,
had a-
just pushing for their own pastries. But
Well, but I think Ronnie's whole thing was like, I don't knock Ronnie's exemplary customer service because Ronnie fully believes that she is giving exemplary customer service every
and
single time.
she can believe that.
Wilder is always impressed with Ronnie's TED Talks. Like
I
he
love
was
that there was a moth
that.
TED talk. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
excitement over the Luna Moth TED Talk was earnest.
It came from a place of love.
It really did.
You felt it.
That's yeah. Wilder doesn't bullshit.
I'm sitting there like, what do I know about moths? I, the player, know nothing. So I was sitting there with Google like, yeah, I know that.
I love it. Well,
Love it.
thank you guys for jumping into this little one shot. It was fun. It's always fun to tell a little bit about this. And actually, before I end this really quick, something I can tell you guys is we do these little kids on bikes one shots occasionally, and they're always something about like something supernatural. And I've told Amber this, and essentially all these stories that we'll be telling exist in the same planet.
Cool.
Ooh.
That's because I don't believe in Bright Falls. Obviously, is sort of a hint towards like an Alan Wake situation, but the fact that there is no Bright Falls in America at all, there is no real Bright Falls, so it's a perfect thing to be like, yeah, in this world, there's a Bright Falls in every state.
Like a Springfield.
Well, almost like
Love
what we were
it.
talking about, Michael. There's almost almost like its own Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Yes.
But it is Springfield. There's a Springfield.
But there's a
Springfield in every
I
state.
love
In every
the Falls
state. In every
vibes to
state.
it too, like the
Oh, yeah.
Gravity Falls vibes. I loved it.
Yeah.
That
Anything.
was a lot of fun.
Amazing show, and like that vibe of like, and making it just a little more serious, you know, but still keeping it, you know, lighthearted and upbeat and up pace.
Yes.
And
Kid shows
not
kill
overtly
nowadays.
melodramatic.
They're so
yeah.
good.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
thank you so much for joining us for here for Short Rest, and thank you to our special guests. We'll
Thank
see guys
you.
next time. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.